Yes, Charleston White is correct. I'm a rapper, not a Be sure to catch my new show. 50 ways to catch.
See that Meech Home concert got the streets talking. The biggest Meech Home. Streets back, that's what I'm talking about. That's how real let's come home and get it down. 50, who own your masters? Who own your masters? I'll buy your masters. But I will buy your masters.
50 Cent isn't letting up. He's having a field day roasting Rick Ross after whispers spread that Ross might have swindled Big Meech out of a staggering $120 million deal. That's not pocket change, that's life-changing money. The story goes that Ross painted a picture straight out of Hollywood, blockbuster films, glossy documentaries, multi-million-dollar productions. Meech was promised a red carpet rebirth. But when the lights were supposed to come on, darkness, no cameras, no contracts, no checks, just empty talk. Now, Meech is left staring at broken promises while 50 turns the whole thing into comedy material. Social media's running with it, too, with fans even pitching a wild idea. Forget the rap beef, throw Meech and 50 in a boxing ring and let them settle it once and for all. That headline alone would break the internet. But let's backtrack. Meech was ready to rewrite his legacy, pivot from his past, and step into something bigger. That's when Ross swooped in, chest puffed, selling dreams of $100 million contracts. He hyped Meech's potential like it was Marvel-level money, even bragging about it on camera. On paper, it looked like the ultimate comeback story. In practice, Ross never delivered. Instead, it seems he played Meech's name like a chess piece. Just another move in his long-running war of egos with 50. Now the script has flipped. Ross is the one looking unsteady. 50 is cracking jokes from the sidelines. And Meech is stuck in the middle of a spectacle he never asked for.
I do want to do a BMF film because you've been entertained by a lackluster, small budget series. Now it's time to do a big budget film. Which director? Shout out to my homie F. Gary Gray, Antoine Foucault, what's up? Tarantino, it's a lot of legends. This is big.
50 Cent has built a career on never holding his tongue, especially when the target is Rick Ross. While Ross was busy chasing headlines and dangling Hollywood-sized promises, 50 was the one actually putting his money where his mouth is. He bankrolled the BMF series, handed Lil Meech a legitimate platform, and even paid for his acting lessons. That's not speculation, that's on record. Compared to that, Ross comes off like an echo, loud, flashy, but hollow. And it's not just 50 making that case. Tony Yayo and others in his circle have vouched for it, underscoring who really invested in keeping the Meech legacy alive. That's what makes this saga sting. Word is, Big Meech feels double cross-stranded with broken promises, realizing Ross wasn't there to elevate him, only to weaponize his name in Ross's long-standing feud with 50. Instead of being celebrated like a boss, Meech wound up looking like a chess piece in someone else's game. And then the plot twisted again. When Lil Meech entered the frame, a leaked message surfaced where he flat-out wrote, F Ross Ross. Days later, though, cameras caught him shoulder to shoulder with Ross in the club laughing, whispering, posing for pictures like they were family. Fans didn't know what to make of it, and the internet exploded with reactions. Of course, 50 didn't let the moment pass. He lobbed one of his signature troll bombs, joking that Lil Meech had given him his father's address so he could pull up with a box of wings. Funny on the surface, sure, but the subtext stung. Ross isn't building dynasties. He's handing out scraps. And just when people thought the trolling had peaked, 50 twisted the knife deeper. Out of nowhere, he claimed he'd personally stepped in to send Lil Meech to rehab. Lil Meech denied it, but by then, the point had landed. It wasn't just a jab, it was a masterclass in narrative control. Once again, 50 reminded everyone that when it comes to this game, he's playing chess while Ross is still fumbling with checkers.
February 13th, the Big Meech Home benefit concert. It's gonna be iconic. Too many names to list, but let me salute some of the legends. Lil Baby, Bossman D-Lo, 21 Savage, Sexy Red, Ricky Rose. Now, it's the first time it's ever been done. Me performing BMF with the icon himself. This shit gonna be special. Epic. Get your tickets right now.
Behind the curtain, 50 Cent painted a chaotic picture of Lil Meech. He claimed the young star rolled up to the BMF set so out of it that he actually vomited during a weapons test. Then came the curveball allegations that his truck was loaded with whippets. 50 even admitted he had to Google what they were, spinning the story as if he was the adult in the room, trying to shield Lil Meech from burning out while his own father, still locked up, was cheering on the recklessness. This wasn't idle gossip either. Lil Meech's airport arrest put fuel on the fire, giving tabloids all the proof they needed. Suddenly, whispers turned into questions. Maybe 50 really was the one holding Meech's career together before it completely collapsed. But here's the irony other than showing loyalty to 50. Lil Meech stayed circling Ross. That's when things took an ugly turn. Michael Rainey, Jr., better known as Tariq, from Power, was asked on a live stream if he felt bad for Lil Meech. His blunt response went viral within minutes. And who made sure to amplify it with a grin? None other than 50 Cent. It wasn't just another troll post, it was a stamp of approval. A signal that even the Power family, 50's own empire, saw Lil Meech as fragile, unprepared, and slipping fast. For Meech, the timing was disastrous. His reputation was already cracking, and now it looked like the very circle responsible for lifting his name was beginning to turn its back on him. The truth is, none of this tension came out of nowhere. The seeds were planted years ago back at Big Meech's so-called welcome home moment, where promises, hype, and betrayal all first collided. Now the past has come calling. Receipts are surfacing. And what was once billed as a partnership between Ross, 50, and the Meech legacy is unraveling into an all-out war.
That's this. Because I'm not trying to let nobody treat me off the streets. But I never fold, never told, never will. Just before the time, always.
When Big Meech touched down, the city braced for fireworks. The night was hyped as a cultural event, a king's return. Fans expected a stage filled with rap heavyweights, legends showing respect, and a proper salute to the man whose name still carries weight in hip-hop lore. But then came the twist. Instead of spotlighting 50 Cent, the one who poured millions into the BMF series, who gave Lil Meech a platform and even paid for his acting school, Meech leaned on Rick Ross to headline the comeback. Ross played it up like the second coming of hip-hop history. Clips circulated of him bragging about the show as if it was about to break the culture wide open. But when the night came, the dream collapsed. Promoters disappeared, the performance never materialized, and the hype crumbled into nothing. What was supposed to be a crowning moment turned into a humiliating flop hand for 50. That wasn't just a bad night. It was a personal insult to him. Being left out wasn't oversight, it was betrayal. After shaping Meech's legacy for TV, after putting his money and influence on the line, he felt like he'd been benched so Ross could play hero. That's when 50 snapped. He accused Meech of backdoor moves, shady online shots, even cozying up to the feds. Aligning with Ross only made it worse. To the outside world, it looked like Meech traded loyalty for clout. And 50 made sure to hammer that image home with every meme, every jab, every troll post. The night that was meant to mark Meech's triumphant return became the turning point where the tide shifted. Instead of a legend reclaiming his place, Meech looked like a man losing control of his own story. And then came his clapback. No long speeches, no interviews, just one post. An old photo of him standing next to 50, but with a giant rat emoji slapped across 50's face. Subtlety was gone. The message was sharp. 50's a snitch. Meech doubled down in the caption, labeling 50 an online gangster, someone who hides behind a phone instead of showing up in the flesh. Ross smelled opportunity and jumped in immediately. He mocked 50 in his own posts, joking about whether he and Meech were the new power couple. Fans didn't miss the point. This wasn't random. It was a coordinated hit, a tag team effort to drag their common rival. Ross even pushed it further with a video that went viral across every platform, clowning 54 looking rattled while Meech stood next to him. The message was clear. Ross wasn't just backing Meech, he was trying to recruit him. But here's the irony no one could ignore. 50 Cent was the one who gave Lil Meech real opportunities, steady checks, acting roles, and the training to succeed. Ross, all he ever offered were champagne-drenched photo ops and hollow promises of movie deals that never saw daylight. It was loyalty versus optics. And in that moment, Meech chose
no grown man in this training. Like, I'm a grown man, why the f I gotta feel bad for another grown man? Like, you a grown man too. What you ask for my sympathy for it? You be alright.
Nobody could quite figure out why Meech leaned harder on Ross than on the man who had actually built his platform. That strange alignment only lit the fuse for the next wildfire rumor. Big Meech wanted to fight 50 Cent, not in court, not in interviews. In a boxing ring, Meech versus 50, gloves on, cameras rolling. The internet exploded. Some fans laughed at the absurdity, others called it Sada Street legend reduced to a reality TV gimmick. But the rumor didn't just grow out of thin air. It came from Meech himself. Asked if he'd ever throw hands with 50, he half-joked that he'd step in the ring if it came to that. The internet didn't care if he was joking. Once the quote hit the blogs, it spread like wildfire. Then Whack 100 entered the conversation, and everything detonated. According to him, the feud wasn't really about Ross or loyalty, it was about secrets. Whack claimed Tammy Cowan, a trusted confidant of Meech, once told 50 directly that Meech had cooperated with federal agents on other cases. That's the one accusation a street legend can't wash off. The timing was brutal. Meech was already getting dragged online, roasted for the failed concert, clowned for standing shoulder to shoulder with Ross, and mocked for looking broke. Now he was being stamped with the ultimate scarlet letter. Snitch. 50 didn't even have to push it. The internet did the work for him, flooding timelines with memes, digging up old clips, and speculating that Meech's softness toward Ross wasn't about friendship at all, it was about covering tracks. Ross tried to spin the narrative, joking, trolling, turning shots back on 50, but the damage was visible now. Whack's grenade had landed, and the cracks in Meech's legacy were out in the open. Then Meech showed up in Kanye West's iconic graduation jacket. At first glance, it looked like just another flex, but fans connected the dots. Was it a mockery of the snitch accusations? A signal that he'd outgrown the street code? Or a subliminal shot at 50, tying back to Kanye's famous 2007 sales war against him? Whatever the intent, the jacket sent the internet buzzing, and then silent. Not from Meech, not from Ross, but from 50 No Me. No captions, no clowning. For a man who lives off trolling, the quiet was deafening. Because when 50 holds back, it usually means he's loading up for something bigger. This feud has already gone past music, past memes, past loyalty. It's personal now. Most beefs burn out in weeks. But with Meech, every move feels like the next round in a heavyweight bout. Some say 50 feels betrayed. Others think it's pure dominance. Either way, one truth is clear. If this ever leaves Instagram comments and makes it to the ring, it won't just be entertainment. It'll be the final act of a war that's already gone too far.